Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. And this week we're going to start off the Bass Report, or the In Deep on the Delta River Report, with Rob Cloutier. Hopefully I pronounced that right. We're here at the Bass Hole and we are in Bethel Island. Rob, you've got a great shop here. I've been in here a couple of times, but man, you know, this is the kind of place that I like to hang out in. So I want to let all of the audience know out there where you're at, your hours, what you're doing, and the whole ball of wax. So let's start off with your address out here.
Address 6277 Bethel Island, Bethel Island Road,
Okay.
right on the main strip as you're coming down over the bridge. We'll be on the left-hand side right there. Big sign out there greeting you. We're getting our little signs up in the front. They'll be out there probably next week, so you'll be able to see us lit up as you're driving through in the morning. We're currently open Wednesdays through Saturdays right now. 7 to 5 is our hours. Saturdays I'm in here about 6 usually, sometimes earlier. If it's a tournament on Saturday and I'm not fishing it, I will be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. If I am fishing it, my wife will be here at 5 in the morning. So we're here early morning. If you guys are running out and need something, you can always call my cell phone, get a hold of me that way as well.
So you're really catering to a lot of the tournament anglers that are fishing Russo's, and for those of you who don't know Bethel Island, you may be out of the area. Right on the way to Russo's, Sugar Barge. You're in an excellent location, and you are a full-on largemouth bass shop.
Yes.
Custom shop.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to want to come down to the shop and just look around. Well, I'm going to pan around here so they can see what you got. And I know you're talking about expanding next year.
Correct.
It's even going to be bigger and better. But talk about a couple of the baits that you have here that you may not be able to get anywhere else.
Some of the local baits right here, we have Bobby D's. I carry his full line of anything, spinner baits, big hot items on the river right now. The spinner baits, also his chatter baits. AP jigs from Bobby D as well, a nice flipping jig, get out there on the river with. I've got TNT in here. I carry a wide variety of TNT baits. This is Cooch's favorite bait out here, throwing those jigs out there. I've got missile baits, I've got snag-proof frogs. We carry a full lineup of everything as well as the exotic stuff. I've got Don Ivinos and some Ricos as well. I carry Don Ivinos plastics for everybody looking for those. That S20 that everybody loves, I carry that. We carry a wide variety of striper baits as well too, from top water to your basic rattle traps in 1 ounce. We've got Cloutier custom chatter baits in here. We've got Mr. B carrying a wide variety of baits between spinner baits, jigs, chatter baits, and buzz baits. We also are running mat lures, as you see in the background right there. We carry a wide variety of mat lures, Huddlestons. I'm a Huddleston dealer as well too, so we'll have custom colors in the Huddleston for the river, and we pretty much got it all. If I don't have it, I'll get it for you. That's my motto. So if you guys are looking for something, rods, I carry a full lineup of rods, I-rods, Pals, Phoenix, we're real big on those, rods, reels. Again, if I don't have it in stock, I can get it for you guys. So come down, check us out, and see what we got. Rods, reels that need repair, bring them on down.
Take care of your reels out there, guys. The Delta is tough on reels. You should probably be once a year or once every couple of years anyhow, depending on how much you fish, how you take care of your equipment. Keep the number here. When your reel starts making those funny noises, it's way past the time you should be bringing it in maybe to a professional and having them at least do a clean and a maintenance on it. So, Rob, thanks a lot, and we're going to be in here probably. Hopefully, my wife's not watching this, but we'll be in here for many more times, and I'm really impressed with the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, make sure you come in here, support your local guys, and we'll be talking to you in the future.
Sounds good.
All right, let's get on to the report. Okay, we're back on the river and we're ready to do the report for November 18th, and we're starting off with a picture that I was sent in by Librisky. I hope I'm saying that right, Librisky. I might have to call you L or Ski, but anyhow, Ski sent us in this picture. Absolutely beautiful Delta day. We're coming into winter. We're going to start getting some rain and hopefully some winter conditions. So let's take a good look at this picture so we can remember what we're looking forward to next spring. So thanks again for the picture. We'll get into river conditions. Central Delta, I'll say from Paradise Point out to Frank's Track, about 3 to 5 feet visibility. We have about 56, 55 degree water temperatures in the morning. They're probably getting up to about 57, 58 in the afternoon. As you get out to Frank's track, I understand that the water clarity out there is a little bit better, 5 to 8 feet. As you get out closer to the Sacramento is running a little more stained, and there's a lot of debris moving down the river. So those are the general river conditions. It's all fishable out here, and the general consensus for the last week is that the stripers the bite has decreased and the largemouth bass have increased, and we're going to get into both of those fisheries. So with that, let's talk about stripers. And I'm going to go with what Jeff Suhu from Suhu Sport Fishing talked to me about this week about, and he's moving around a lot and he's having to find those fish, and they are just not on a great bite. Now, as always, Jeff is picking up limits, pretty much every day, but he says they're difficult to catch, and you just can't. You got to be open-minded. He's moving around and he has to find the fish that are biting on that particular day to catch those fish. And I want to build on that with another report that I get from a fellow named Brandon. Brandon is not a tournament bass angler. He comes out here and he looks like he's doing multi-species trips. And I know he's out 3 or 4 days a week because I'm getting reports weekly, 2 or 3 times a week. And he has been, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, very successful and very steady. When he's coming out for stripers, he's moving around. He has to move and find the fish. He's not, I haven't heard of him doing any live bait fishing or trolling. I think he's basically throwing plugs. But Brandon has caught fish one day on jerk baits, or next day it could be jigging spoons, wake baits, top waters, swim baits. Every day it's something a little bit different. So that's just kind of backing up what Jeff was saying. Even if you're a guy that's not a professional, or a guy that's not out here every day, if you go out, move around, and don't put all your eggs in one basket, you're probably going to catch some fish. And Brandon does do multi-species trips out here. His suggestion for catching the largemouth bass is go small. He's been using 2.8 Kitex and small fluke style bait. So Brandon, thanks for the reports. Keep them coming. And I'm going to leave you guys. Well, let's do one more thing with the stripers, because I do want you to know I've been in contact with Hook, Line, and Sinker, Outdoor Sportsman, and Haps Bait. And, not a lot of reports coming in. They're all seeing fish, and I personally have been seeing fish out here at Paradise Point. And I will get into one other thing that Jeff Suhu was talking about that I can back up because of what I've been seeing here at Paradise Point. But anyhow, all of the shops are reporting, they're catching fish, but it's not on a great bite, and we're going to see what happens next week. Back to what Jeff was saying and why I'm seeing fish out here. This time of year, it's really normal for the fish to disperse into the delta, come in farther up the delta, get into the sloughs, and really just kind of spread out. And what I was going to say, as I have been putting the boat in and out at Paradise, I'm seeing guys in kayaks with limits of striper, 4 to 8 pounds. I'm seeing lots of people that have these fish. I'm also seeing a lot more sea lions this last week in the central delta. So that's kind of, tying everything in together. The fish are spread out, move around, find the fish, and you're going to catch them. All right, right into the largemouth bass. And I'll start off by saying that it's on an increase. The Hook, Line, and Sinker tournament this year, I didn't see the full results, but I know it took 20 pounds something to win. And that's, for this time of year, a pretty darn solid bag. So that's the first clue that the bass are on somewhat of a bite, and the bigger fish are on somewhat of a bite. I'll go right with some of the information that Rob from the Bass Hole relayed to me, and Rob's going to be a regular contributor to the show from now on. As long as I can get him on the phone, I think Rob's got a really good thumb on what's going on out here. Rob's suggestion is this: don't put down a frog or a topwater. He said frog, but I have been getting a lot of reports on topwater fish. If you want big fish, stick with that frog and punch. You're not going to get a ton of fish doing that, but they're going to be a better class of fish. Now, Rob's suggestion, if you want to just get your rod bent and come out here and have some fun, drop shot, worm, and start looking at Ned rigs. And the general pattern that usually happens is as that water starts creeping down under 55 degrees, the fish are going to slow up and they're going to really turn on to the Ned rigs, the worms, the drop shot, things that are moving slower. They'll still take jerk baits and spinner baits and all that. Okay, I've got a picture of Hornback up there now, and he's been getting some nice fish, and what his suggestion is, especially in the afternoon, stick with frogs. And he sent me several pictures of really nice fish that he's picked up. So he's backing up the frog fishing out here. Got Jason, who got a nice one on a spinnerbait. Went out with Jason the other day. We caught a few fish and had some fun. It's a couple weeks. And as long as the weather stays consistent, you know, we don't have a storm front or a bunch of rain come in, I think we're going to have pretty consistent fishing. But you have to, just like the stripers, you have to keep an open mind. Don't stay in one place for too long. If you want big fish, frogs and punching, after that you can pretty much throw anything that you're confident with out here. But another one of the friends of the show sent me in his recipe for what happens when he's out here and having a tough day. If he gets to 2 or 3 hours of fishing, there's nothing going on, he says that he'll just sit here, and if he's got 5 or 6 rods on the front of his boat, he'll take every one of those rods and put something different on. So basically, he's just changing everything up, and I think that's a good suggestion. So building on that little tip that I just gave you, I always like to leave the river when I'm catching fish. If I catch 5 fish in a day or 10 fish in a day, and I come out and I catch all of those fish between, say, 8 and noon, and then I go blank from noon to 4, I'm not quite as happy as if I start out really slow and maybe I change up and in the afternoon I catch my fish. When I do that, I get off the river with a different confidence, and I get off the river with the idea that when I go out on my next trip, I've got something to build on. So think about that. Always try to leave the river, hopefully with a couple of fish or a couple of bites, so when you get off the river, you've got a little different, a little better confidence level. So before I sign off today, I just want to answer a few questions I've been getting on at my channel. And people are asking, am I going to be doing more instructional, instructional videos in the future? And absolutely, that's what I like to do out here, and I'm going to be spending a lot of time doing instructional videos. The last couple weeks, you guys probably noticed I've been doing a few interviews. I had Nick from the Bass Hookup. I've talked to Zach Thompson, and it's just turning out right now that I have the opportunity to get some people on here that I think you guys will benefit from listening to. And I'm going to give you a little tip what's coming down the line. I had the opportunity to interview Dee Thomas, and for those of you who don't know Dee Thomas, he is the grandfather of the flipping technique, and hopefully it'll be out. I'm editing the video now. Hopefully this video will be out in the next week or so. And Dee tells the story from day one, how he started the technique, the problems that he had, a lot of the, the ins and outs of just how it happened. And it's a long video. I didn't want to cut it up too much because, when you're talking to a legend like Dee, you just have to let him tell it in his words. He's still fishing, and I think it's an amazing story. I hope you guys listen to that Dee Thomas interview. Got some other names coming up. We haven't done those interviews, but there's a lot coming down the pipe. So I appreciate you guys holding with the channel. Appreciate you guys that have subscribed. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, you do it now, and we'll see you guys at the next video.